Alexa, what can I expect from my enterprise software keynotes this year?
Well, this is Alex, not Alexa. And this year we're expecting a whole host of massive screw-ups by ERP vendors as they try to bring new innovations to the stage near you.
Anyway, if you haven't guessed, it's John Reed back with Brian Sommer here. We just taped a serious podcast and we got nothing left but satire. We actually just want to talk with you guys and present you with, what is it?
It's a public service announcement
For vendors?
For vendors to pay close attention to because every one of them now seems to want to do an innovation keynote at their ERP user conference.
So this is a sort of a vendor safety guide, I guess, but it's also a BS detector for attendees, so that they can be prepared ahead of time. And when you sit down in your keynote for your whatever software your community you're a part of, and all this stuff goes down, all we can say is we warned you.
Yep.
We absolutely warned you. So what are they going to get this year?
Well, I think I wouldn't go to another ERP conference unless I'm bringing a pair of safety glasses with me, because it seems that every one of these vendors now wants to show us that they can connect their ERP software to a drone. And, the person who's manning the joystick may not know what they're doing. Rotor blades can come off. It could crash into the audience. I smell liability risk all over the place here when you do a live drone demo.
Yeah, so beware of drones delivering pizzas flying over the
audience. Yeah. And the other thing is, if you're going to do a drone demo, vendors, make sure that no one in your expo hall, none of the vendors there, are giving away beach balls or frisbees, because someone's going to take aim at your drone with one of those.
You have to figure at some point this year someone's going to hand out 3D glasses as you walk into the keynote too, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's inevitable.
Well, I'm expecting a vendor executive to put on a VR headset and walk right off the front of the stage and face plant themselves into the front row. That one I know is coming any day now.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say that we're going to see some blockchain on stage.
Oh, yeah. Someone will drag up about 10, 12 feet of, chain and then realize that's not what we're talking about. But yeah, we're going to see a lot of blockchain demos. Every vendor is going to show that they know how to spell it, and they can maybe incorporate a certificate on a transaction, but will they really understand what it's really going to do? I don't think so, but we'll get a lot of teasers on that. It'll be the fan dance of technology. We're not going to really see anything other than just hype.
And we already kind of mentioned Alexa, but there's going to be a lot of voice activation meltdowns. And in fact, along those lines, you just never really know what Alexa's going to deliver, right? So
you have no idea. And if you get some snarky people at your event, they might bombard whatever kind of voice technology tool you're going to put up there with all kinds of stuff and get you answers coming out of the Alexa type device that were not what you wanted at all.
Yeah, we looks like we may have had a case of someone trying to hack into a demo system causing demo failures on stage. So,
Yep. We've just seen that.
So that's your vendor security alert. Secure your demo system.
And I always love it. It's always at the biggest conferences. There's always several boneheads in the audience who are on BitTorrent downloading 10 movies simultaneously. And the vendor can't do a demo because the Wi-Fi is completely screwed.
If we have all this innovation coming up, why does the Wi-Fi always suck so bad?
Well, that's probably something we need to take up with the Federal Communications Commission and all like that. I think one of the big risk exposure deals, I've seen a lot of shows where the billion-dollar software CEO executive of this company drives out on stage in some kind of car. I've seen him in DeLoreans, Formula One cars. And I think
I know where you're going.
And I know somebody's going to be getting driven out on stage in a driverless car. And that car...
Perhaps a Tesla.
Possibly, but who knows what it is? But it's going to come right off the front right off the front of the stage into the audience. In fact, my best counsel for most folks is stay away from the front row. Let all those analysts and key customers get run over or hit by the drones or the driverless cars for the next year or two at these shows.
What else have we got to warn people about?
Well, I always think it's hilarious that vendors actually have the courage to put the tweet stream up live on one of the jumbotrons.
Right, yeah, hacking the tweet stream.
Oh yeah, that's always good fun for analysts when things are going a little slow on the demo. When you get the customer infomercial that's been rehearsed to death and nobody cares about, that's when the tweet stream goes bananas.
I also had advise vendors, if you're doing that thing where you highlight the most popular tweets, that can backfire also. Because it used to be you just had a stream, and so if I said, wow, that demo really sucked, it would just like go by in the stream. But now if enough people like favorite it and push it, it could like end up blasting out to all your attendees, which I've already seen in the last couple of days. So in fact, I think we kind of ruined the tweet stream for a little while there with some pretty irrelevant stuff around attendance.
Oh yeah.
Anyone who was trying to actually get value out of the tweet stream was like hijacked for about 5 minutes there.
Well, and then other thing I'd caution folks about, there's been a lot of focus on IoT, either consumer or industrial, and people slapping sensors on everything, and they want to put them even on like ID badges, and I've seen RFIDs used in that regard in the past. You just got to be careful, because if you're going to use any of this information live on stage, you don't want to show a significant portion of your attendees like in the washroom or out at the pool. That just reflects badly on your company when you do that.
I'm not sure if you need a celebrity keynote, but if you do, can you please stop inviting ex-government officials who have been involved in tainted administrations
Oh, I thought you were going to say
to give motivational speeches, please, who are ethically compromised from their years in office. Could you please stop doing that?
Well, I like the one that's been married 4, going on 5 times, is going to preach to us about, integrity. Or the keynote that I never cared for is the person who rode a unicycle up Kilimanjaro blindfolded while juggling chainsaws, and that's supposed to inspire me for some reason. And I don't find the connection between that and ERP software. It just escapes me every time.
A little bit of a tangent. And then the other problem is that I think vendors really have to look at is, I'm not sure you need a funky personality to come in and do kind of a slapstick moderation for you. I think you can just do it yourself. You don't need some radio personality or some...
Hey, John, I tell you what, you're absolutely right on that, and we want to get everybody here in the audience. Let's get a show of hands going right now. Let's get the wave moving from the right to the left. Let's see which side of this audience is everybody feeling today. Yeah. It gets really old. I'd rather hear a more authentic kind of speaker and executive than listening to that kind of stuff.
I think it reflects confidence in your product and in what you're doing if you just go up there and just act normal. And where the humor comes in? The humor comes in all the wacky, unnatural things that happen on stage. Like the last couple of days at this Acumatic event we're at now, like they had a few glitches on stage, but they had fun with it. They had banter. They kind of made fun of the whole situation. Everyone laughed, moved on. It's fine.
Yeah, in fact, we might want to even close with this. I thought it was interesting that I now see different kinds of failures when demos go awry. In the past, it was the famous blue screen of death. And that always kind of caused everybody in the audience to kind of painfully laugh and chuckle, because it usually pointed out we got a bad piece of software here. But lately I see these things where there are integration connection problems. And of course, vendors, you definitely need to make sure it all works right, but make sure it's going to work right under the stress of a constrained or strained internet connection at the show. Nothing makes an innovation demo look bad when we can't see it. In fact, that was my quote of the day here, which is, this would actually be a great demo if you guys could see it. That was hilarious from that speaker.
But again, a great example of just rolling with the moment, which is the best way to bring comedy to your events, not hiring some weirdo to come who doesn't know anything about the subject to come and try to pretend they're relevant to attendees. The other thing I would say about testing your demo thing under stressful conditions is book a flight on Southwest on their Wi-Fi and try to do your demo on that system. And if you can do your demo on Southwest Wi-Fi, the one where you're watching your Gmail load in like real time, the slow motion, you can do your demo on that. then you should be okay at the conference.
All right. Well,
What do you think of that?
I think those are words to live by, and I think with that, I think we probably exhausted the ideas. But we hope the vendors took note of the different kinds of tips and tricks for the innovation parts or the R&D parts of their keynotes. And for you in the audience, again, safety glasses. Safety first. That's what we're really here all about. Is safety first.
Thanks, Brian.
All righty.